Welcome to Snackable Health with Doctors Gibson and Kohli. We're talking today about baby formula. Pyle, what should mothers do?
Such a tough situation, Mike. And I actually have a niece who's only 6 months old. Thankfully, she's breastfed, so it hasn't been an issue for her. But I think there's a things that moms should do and shouldn't do when it comes to baby formula shortages. So I think if you can just switch your baby to another formula, even if it's an imported formula coming in from abroad, you just want to make sure that it follows the general guidelines. In other words, it's iron fortified, has some of the vitamins and nutrients that the US formulas have if you're using a formula from abroad. But there's also a great resource, which is banked breast milk. So you can actually go to these breast milk banks and get breast milk for your baby. And if you're a breastfeeding mom, I would highly encourage you to donate some banked breast milk for those moms that, aren't able to breastfeed or don't have access. Now, those are the do's. There's also some don'ts that people have been doing that the American Academy of Pediatrics says it's important not to do. So the
Make
first
your own
is don't.
baby formula. You be doing that?
That's a big one. Do not make a homemade baby formula because you're at risk for contamination and bacterial infection for your baby. You're also at risk for, mixing the wrong recipe and causing malnutrition in the child. So that's a big don't. Another don't is to dilute the baby formula that you have. Again, that can dilute out many of the nutrients, not a good idea. And then the final don't is don't use cow's milk if your baby is, less than a year old. After a year, you can, of course, certainly use cow milk or even fortified soy milk. But the American Academy of Pediatrics does say that in a pinch, you can use it in babies as little as 6 months, but try to avoid it if they're less than a year old. I have actually seen my sister in law supplement solids as well in my 6 month old niece. So that's another good idea if they're at least 6 months old.
And is there an end in sight?
I'm hopeful that our runway is only about another 8 to 10 weeks because the FDA did reach an agreement with the Abbott plant yesterday that takes about 2 weeks to start up and then it takes about 6 to 8 weeks to manufacture. So hopefully the moms out there don't have to panic too much. But it really is a situation that I'm surprised that we have found ourselves in.